Well, actually, what Sherman had done is his forces was outside of town, about 2 miles outside of town. They camped on November the 23rd, and then on the morning of the 24th, when he was waking up, he met resistance from General Wheeler's cavalry of the Confederate forces. And pretty much Sherman hadn't met much resistance since he left Atlanta until he got to this area. So you can understand what kind of mood he was in that morning of the 24th when he encountered that Confederate cavalry. So he sent some companies in from a New Jersey unit to encounter the Confederates, and he pushed the Confederates back, and they pushed them into town. And with his overwhelming force of 60,000 men, he pushed the Confederates out of town and occupied the town. And the Confederates had used the courthouse here as what he called a fort. They had fired on him from the courthouse, so that gave him permission to burn what was a military facility, is what he said. So he burnt the courthouse and a couple of other buildings in town. But other than that, that was pretty much what the battle was. And then he stayed here. He actually stayed in Sandersville one night, but in Washington County his forces was here for about 3 days.
Wow. How devastating was that to this area that he burned the courthouse?
It was real devastating to the public in this county, because at that time most of the men of working age or whatever, they was already all fighting the war, mostly up in Virginia or in Tennessee. So naturally what you had here was old men and women and children, and those women and children were left here without much of anything to eat for about a week, because what the federal forces didn't have to sustain them for that time, they destroyed. So your livestock and your crops and all were destroyed. So there's tales of people coming in from several counties away to bring food to these people to sustain them.